Here are 4 big reasons to consider a precious metals IRA. First, it can protect your wealth. Gold and silver have been favored as wealth-protecting metals throughout history. As soon as the first hint of a crisis occurs, investors start rushing to buy gold and silver. We saw this in 2008 as prices rose in response to increased investor demand, again in 2020, and once again today. Precious metals can also serve as a hedge against inflation. Over the long run, gold's held its purchasing power while the US dollar lost value. Like the stagflation of the 1970s, gold and silver both made annualized gains of over 30% over the decade, far outpacing both markets and inflation. That's why many Americans today are hoping precious metals can help protect their savings today because we're in the face of the highest inflation we've seen in 40 years. Diversify your portfolio. But even critics and haters of precious metals agree diversifying your investment portfolio with precious metals can be beneficial. But there's tax savings to be had also. Many investors like to hold physical precious metal coins themselves, but holding precious metal coins in an IRA can be beneficial. With a traditional precious metals IRA, you would purchase your precious metals with pre-tax dollars, which means you can grow your assets tax-free and then only pay taxes when you take a distribution. With a Roth precious metals IRA, you would invest with post-tax dollars, which means your assets will grow tax-free and pay no taxes when you take a distribution. Plus, you can take your distribution either in cash or in physical precious metals. Does a precious metals-backed IRA make sense for you? When the value of things starts coming into question, you might grasp for what you know. So when it comes to savings and investments, people think of physical and tangible assets because for most of us, our wealth is not physical. Our bank accounts, 401k, IRA, retirement accounts, and even our paychecks are not physical entities. We don't get paid cash for our work or even a physical check. Everything is electronic. While it makes our lives easier in many ways, it can threaten our lives in other ways. When you see your savings dwindling, how do you feel? How do you react, and how do you go about protecting yourself and your finances? For many Americans, they go for the security of tangible physical assets like precious metals. Precious metals may be called dumb rocks, but you won't have to worry about these dumb rocks going bankrupt. And you won't have to worry about them losing value to inflation because they have an impressive track record of helping to hedge against inflation. So it's no wonder these are becoming more popular. But there's only one good way to hold precious metals in a retirement account, and it's something you may have never heard of before. What is a precious metals IRA? A precious metals IRA is just an IRA account that holds physical precious metal coins or bars. So why have many people never heard of them before? Simple, really. Most IRA custodians don't manage precious metal assets. So of course, they wouldn't tell you about it. They'd be losing a customer. What precious metals can I invest in? But you can invest in more than just gold and silver with one of these special accounts because there's 4 that are eligible for investment through a precious metals IRA. When you hear the term precious metals, you probably think of gold, Fort Knox, Mr. T's jewelry, Scrooge McDuck's money bin. Throughout history, gold has been synonymous with wealth. Precious metals IRAs that invest in gold are gold IRAs. They can hold physical gold coins or bars stored at a secure depository. Silver often plays second fiddle to gold, but in some cases, silver can outperform gold. Silver's use as an industrial metal makes it slightly different than gold in its price movements, so industry demand can influence the price of silver. Another precious metal is something you might already own, platinum, because it's used in catalytic converters in the automotive industry, but it's also used in jewelry. Another is also used in catalytic converters, and its price has really taken off in recent years. At one point, its price was even higher than gold's all-time high. Palladium. While it's less common than most metals, there are still some IRA-eligible palladium coins and bars available. Precious metals IRA rules and regulations. But like all tax-advantaged retirement accounts, precious metals-backed IRAs are subject to IRA rules and regulations. So knowing these rules can help you avoid unintended and unwanted tax consequences. Let me show you. Ban on collectibles. All IRA accounts are forbidden from investing in collectibles. It'd be considered a distribution of assets and could trigger taxes and penalties. So certain coins are excluded from consideration as collectibles. This includes a handful of coins produced by the U.S. Mint, such as American Silver Eagles, American Gold Eagle coins, or any coin or bullion of gold, silver, platinum, or palladium coin, as long as it's produced to a minimum fineness that would be accepted for futures contracts. What does that mean exactly? Any gold coin or bar needs to be at least 99.5% pure. Any silver coin or bar needs to be at least 99.9% pure. And any platinum or palladium coin or bar needs to be at least 99.95% pure. So what can you not have in a precious metals IRA? Glad you asked. You won't be able to choose classic coins such as the South African Krugerrand, British sovereigns, Morgan silver dollars, or Swiss 20 franc coins. Know why? It's because their metal contents aren't high enough to make them IRA eligible. No home storage. So if you've done enough research about precious metals IRAs and self-directed IRAs, then you've probably come across something known as home storage IRA, which allows you to own precious metals within an IRA and store those metals at home. If that sounds too good to be true, well, it's because it is. All IRA assets in any IRA account are required to be managed by an IRA custodian, and precious metals are required to be stored in a secure depository. While it is theoretically possible for an individual person to satisfy the IRA custodial requirements, the bar is set so high that no one has ever done it. So what if you try to do it? Well, it would likely be treated as a distribution of assets and end up costing you in taxes and penalties. This is why it's important not to get seduced by stories that make it sound like you can have your cake and eat it too. Stick with trusted partners like Goldco, who have years of experience helping customers set up precious metals IRAs and purchase precious metals. Custodians and storage. But first, you need to understand the truth. All IRA assets are required to be managed by a custodian. You probably already know how it works. Most IRA custodians don't offer precious metals as an investment option because they don't want to. So you'll have to find a custodian who offers precious metals management services, or partner with someone like Goldco, who works with precious metals IRA custodians. Once you fund your precious metals IRA, your assets are stored at a depository. Required minimum distributions. But as with any other IRA, your precious metals IRA will be subject to required minimum distributions, RMDs. The current RMD age is 73, but that will rise to 75 over the next decade. For Roth precious metals IRA accounts, there are no RMDs. All IRA rules apply. Whether your precious metals IRA is a Roth IRA or traditional IRA, the same rules and regulations apply as they would to any other IRA. So if you're already familiar with the IRA rules and regulations, you won't have much to learn. But if you don't already know the IRA rules and regulations, you'll want to start learning them. If you think that a precious metals IRA might be the right choice for you, give the specialist at Goldco a call today. Ultimately, the decision about whether or not to start a precious metals IRA is yours to make, but it can help you to be as educated as you can before you make a decision. Whether you have an orphan 401k that you want to start performing or a current retirement account that you want to protect, learning more about a precious metals IRA can help you get on the path to safeguarding your retirement savings. Don't let your hard-earned money fall victim to recession, inflation, or any other calamity. Call Goldco today to start your precious metals IRA journey.